Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're just going to discuss very briefly why now is currently the best time for you to begin working on gear or equipment as it's commonly referred to in the DB Legends game. So equipment is kind of randomized. Basically, if you need to know any more about it, I will link my video about equipment in the top right hand corner. But the slots on equipment are randomized. All equipment have 3 slots, and each slot is randomized. You will receive a value between 2 metrics. So if it's between 1 and 5%, you can receive anything along that line. The colors on the gear will represent how high that is, with red being max. Now, the current event that's up basically has a set increase to all gear chance. So basically, if I roll gear, or I go and try to farm gear, that gear itself will already have an increased chance at just straight up being better. Now this is incredibly crucial as obviously Legends is a PvP game, so having the ability to have a higher chance at having higher grade equipment is always something that's incredibly valuable for people who are in the PvP space. Now obviously you may not be interested in PvP, but this will still help you with PvE, as gear and the percentages can really be quite substantial. So even the smallest buff to your overall percentages is going to be something that's very, very, very valuable. Now, there are a couple restrictions. So not every piece of gear can be re-rolled or receive this bonus on its slots. So you do need to check when you're farming. You'll see a little icon pop up, similar to how we did in the events I just showed you, where you see this little like eligible kind of icon appear on the gear. Also, secondly, gear that you purchase from the exchange shop will not have this eligibility. So when you purchase gear from the exchange shop, like I am doing right now, that gear will not be eligible for the bonus. So when you upgrade, that gear will be eligible, but the first slot will not have the eligibility. So it's better to farm gear that drops directly from events or from missions than it is to try to purchase gear from the store. That's not really going to help you. So if you are buying gear pieces or something like that, rather just actually farm the gear. Next, or the next kind of restriction to be aware of is obviously that when you do farm the gear, there are some restrictions. So as you can see here, all these icons are popping up with the eligible for campaign. Some gear will not have this, so you will see it fall away. You can also see the set bonus that you get on each piece of gear as well. It can fluctuate, not dramatically from what I've seen, but it can fluctuate. So sometimes it'll be 0.2% or 0.15%, depending on how high the actual percentage of the gear is. When you're upgrading gear, on the initial upgrade, this bonus will kick in as well. So that's also something that's pretty cool. So when you initially upgrade a gear, you can see here that it's giving you a set bonus. Again, this bonus will fluctuate. So it's fairly consistent, but it can be a little bit different each time. So just be aware of that as well. There is still a severe RNG kind of mechanism going on. So that's obviously something that's super duper important. Second thing to also consider is that yes, you can awaken older gear. So you don't have to obtain the gear during this event. You can awaken or upgrade gear that was obtained before the event. So if you were busy farming platinum equipments 3 months ago, and those platinum equipments are an eligible equipment, then you're not going to have any problem, and you're going to be able to upgrade that gear and potentially get the bonus. So that is also something that's pretty cool. It doesn't look too restrictive overall. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So beyond that, there's not too much to mention. Obviously, the reason why it's a great time, as I mentioned before, is that it's just basically a flat-out chance to improve your gear. And it's a flat-out bonus, and when you're dealing with something like RNG on slots, it always helps to immediately have a little buffer. So you immediately can kind of have better chance or better gear than you would have had And yeah, so like I said, this gear I'm upgrading now was obtained before this gear bonus period, so you can see that that's still upgraded and gave me the chance. This gear that I'm re-upgrading the slot on, re-upgrading the slot will also still give the chance, and this is an older piece of gear. So you can see that the bonus is something that you can achieve consistently. So there's definitely a huge incentive to work on your equipment during this period. So please, if you are someone who's been desperate to try and go through equipment, now's the time to really double down and work possibly on that one team you've wanted to work on for a while, and now you can finally get a head start on their gear. But that's it from me, and bye.